The wedding was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. The church was full of flowers, the guests were smiling, and her fiancé was waiting at the altar. But as she walked down the aisle, she saw her father's face in the stained glass window. Not his real face, his wanted poster. She turned and ran. She did not know where she was going. She only knew she could not marry a good man and drag him into her father's darkness. She had changed her name, hidden her past, and pretended to be someone she was not. But the truth had followed her. It always would. She ran through the fields, through the woods, through the fading light. Her wedding dress tore on branches, her veil caught in brambles, and her feet bled inside her satin shoes. She ran until she could not run anymore. Then she saw a barn. The barn was old, weathered, and filled with the smell of hay and horses. She crawled inside, collapsed onto a pile of straw, and buried her face in her hands. She had nothing. No money, no plan, no future. She was alone, and she was terrified. He found her there an hour later. He had been mending fences when he heard a noise, a soft sobbing coming from the barn. He pushed open the door, lantern raised, and saw a woman in a torn wedding dress curled in the hay. His first thought was that she had been attacked. His second thought was that he knew her face. He had seen it before on a wanted poster next to her father's photograph. The daughter of the most notorious bank robber in the territory. The woman who had disappeared 3 years ago, presumed dead. She was not dead. She was here. He should have called the sheriff. He should have turned her in. Instead, he set down the lantern, took off his coat, and draped it over her shoulders. "You are safe here," he said. She looked up at him, her eyes red, her face streaked with dirt and tears. "You do not know who I am," she whispered. He did not correct her. He brought her water, bread, and a blanket. He showed her to a small room above the stable, a room he used for storage, and told her she could stay as long as she needed. He did not ask her name. He did not ask what she was running from. She stayed for a week, then 2, then a month. She helped him with the chores, cooked his meals, and mended his shirts. She told him her name was Rose, and he called her that, though he knew it was a lie. He never pressed. He never pried. He simply waited. He watched her from a distance, the way she smiled when the horses nuzzled her hand, the way she hummed when she worked, the way she flinched at sudden sounds. She was afraid, always afraid, waiting for someone to find her. He wanted to tell her she was safe, but he could not, because he knew the truth. Her father had escaped from prison 2 months ago. The newspapers said he was looking for her, hoping to reunite with his only child. And the reward for his capture was larger than anything he had ever stolen. The sheriff would come eventually. One night, a storm trapped them in the cabin together. The wind howled, the rain lashed the windows, and the fire crackled between them. She sat across from him, her hands wrapped around a cup of tea, her eyes on the flames. "Why have you not asked me who I am?" she said. He was quiet for a long time. Then he looked at her, really looked at her, and decided to tell the truth. "Because I already know," he said. She went pale, her cup trembling in her hands. "You are Rose, but you are also Grace, the daughter of the bank robber. I have known since the night I found you." She stood up, ready to run again, but he caught her hand gently and pulled her back down. "I did not turn you in because I do not care about your father's crimes. I care about you. I have cared about you since I saw your photograph in the newspaper 3 years ago." She stared at him, unable to speak. "I cut out that photograph," he said. "I kept it in my pocket. I told myself I was foolish, that I would never meet you, that you were probably dead. Then you crawled into my barn, wearing a wedding dress, and I knew I had been given a chance." "Why?" she whispered. "Why would you want someone like me?" He took her face in his hands, his thumbs brushing away her tears. "Because you are not your father. You are kind and brave, and you have survived things that would have broken anyone else. That is who I see, The storm passed, and the morning came clear and cold. She did not run. She stayed, and he stayed with her. They worked the ranch together, and the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months. The wanted poster on his wall gathered dust. He did not look at it. Then her father came. He showed up at the barn one evening, gaunt and desperate, his eyes wild. He had tracked her across the state, and he wanted her to come with him, to run, to disappear together. She stood frozen, caught between the father who had ruined her and the man who had saved her. He stepped between them, his hands raised. "She is not going anywhere," he said. Her father laughed, a hollow, broken sound. "You do not know what I have done. You do not know what I am capable of." He did not flinch. "I know that she is afraid of you. That is enough." Her father lunged, and he was faster. He pinned the old man to the ground, held him there until the sheriff arrived. She watched from the doorway, her hands over her mouth as they led her father away. He came to her, took her hands, and held them against his heart. "You could have let him go," she said. "You could have let us both go." He shook his head. "He would have destroyed you. He already had. I could not let that happen." She fell into his arms, sobbing, and he held her until the sun set and the stars came out. They were married in the same barn where he had found her, with the horses as witnesses and the hay bales as pews. She wore a simple white dress, not the torn one from her first wedding. He wore a clean shirt and a smile she had never seen before. "I have loved you since I saw your photograph," he said. "I have loved you since you gave me a blanket," she replied. They kissed, and the horses stamped their feet, and the sunlight streamed through the cracks in the barn walls. The daughter of a bank robber and a rancher who never turned her in had found a love that asked no questions. On the night of their first anniversary, they sat on the porch, watching the stars. She leaned against him, her head on his shoulder, her hand in his. "Do you ever regret not turning me in?" she asked. He laughed, a low rumble in his chest. "I regret that I waited so long to tell you the truth. I regret that I ran from my wedding," she said. He kissed her forehead. "If you had not run, you would not have found my barn." She smiled, and the stars shone above them, and a woman who had spent her life running finally stopped. She was home.